Well, I'm really happy for our players. I'm happy for the staff. I'm happy for UConn Nation. Um, this this program has never beaten Boston College, and for us to be able to go out and do that today, it felt really good for everybody. And um, you know, this program has been through a lot, as you guys know, over the last several years, and these players have been through a lot. They've struggled on the field. COVID canceled the season, coaching changed last year, and through it all, they've just never wavered. And I can tell you that with an absolute straight face, with even a hint of 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 trying to embellish. It's just the way they're built, and I felt that when I first got here, and I felt it even more today. I'm not a guy that likes to say that anyone deserves things. I think we work to earn things, but I'm going to tell you this: they work to earn it, and they deserve it, and it's a step in the right direction. And as I tell you guys every week, I get over these things pretty quick. I mean, the first thing I thought about is we play Friday night, against UMass, and we have to make sure that this emotion that they're feeling right now, that we come back to reality, to earth, to our focus point very, very quickly. And knowing these guys and knowing our staff, I think we will. But I'm really happy for them, and I'm happy for UConn Nation. I'm happy for Dan Toscano. I'm happy for Max. I'm happy for, I'm happy for Bob Howard, our athletic trainer, who's been here like 30-something years. I mean, these guys they've been waiting for this, and they're all part of it. So it was a good day.
Talk about how well the defense played.
Well, we've been, these kids work hard, right? And there was a little transition early in the year, and we changed some things up, and I've steadily felt like they were getting a real grasp on what we want to become defensively. We had some tough games there, that 3-game stretch. Obviously, and I told you guys I felt like we were making some hidden progress. And today they played well, and I felt this coming. But I'll tell you, and I tell them all the time, it doesn't matter unless you back it up, right? I mean, this one only matters if we go back it up. And so I think there's a real focus. I think these guys made a little bit of a declaration today that they were going to play a certain way, and they played that way.
What way was that?
Physical, intense, disciplined, tough, hard-nosed, tackling, getting after the quarterback, knocking people around, playing discipline in terms of gap integrity, in terms of their drops, not trying to go make a play themselves, trusting their teammate to be where they're supposed to be. That's how defense has to function. It can't function as 11 individuals. It has to function as 11 together, and they played that way today.
What did you have to do to kind of manage the game offensively? Obviously, you're down in your running backs, and you have some shortcomings there. But what did you have to do to manage that?
Well, we had to continue to try to run the ball. Even though after those first couple drives it got a little bit difficult, and we had to continue to try to protect Zion and get him on the move a little bit, play action. Let him use his legs a little bit. The one thing that we obviously have to do better is eliminate human error. The false starts were a real killer. I think we had 5 on offense. We had 1 on special teams, and so those are unacceptable. Those are things we control, and so we've got to do a better job as a staff of making sure we find a way to control those. And if that means we have to crank up crowd noise, if that means we have to have the defense calling out a cadence, which those guys were doing today, whatever it takes for us to focus in, we have to focus in. But our guys are tough and they're resilient, and we don't make excuses for our youth. We don't make excuses because of injuries. We understand that they're part of the game, and we expect young men to step up and play whenever they're asked to, and they do that.
When you talk about all of the qualities that this team has come through, what it went through before you got here, how much does Jackson Mitchell kind of embody those things you found in the area?
Yeah, 100%. And Ian, I don't want to discount Ian Swenson. He's been through a lot. But those 2 guys and Christian Haynes and those 3 guys in particular, they always have stood out to me. They're all quiet. They're all hard-nosed. They're all great teammates, team members. They've got that resilience. They're fun to be around. They're focused. they haven't gotten down. You know, they don't get down. I mean, it's amazing. You know, in this day and age, and I don't know how often you guys are around young men, but to have someone answer you as an adult with a yes sir, no sir is very rare. All right, and entitlement has become kind of predominant. And you know, those three guys in particular personify what a team is. It's always a yes sir or a no sir. They don't believe that they're entitled to anything. They want to work for everything. And as a coach, as an adult, I mean, that's so refreshing.
Jackson, I think, had a forced fumble recovery, interception.
Sack.
Fourth quarter.
Oh, all in the fourth quarter?
How special was that?
It's pretty cool, you know, pretty cool. And I don't realize that. It's hard for me during the game to, you know, follow statistics and who's doing what. But if it speaks volumes about him, right? It was a big moment. And we've never beat BC. He's never beat BC. He's a great football player. He wants to leave a legacy. That's how you leave a legacy right there, is you come up with those types of plays in the fourth quarter when your name's Jackson Mitchell. It was pretty awesome, pretty cool.
How's Keelan?
Keelan, he sprained his ankle. You know, it's sad. I mean, he worked so hard to get back. And then I think it might have been the second series, you know, he sprains his ankle. He assured me after the game he'll be ready Friday night. We'll see. You know, he's been a fast healer. I think he's demonstrated that the way he came back off the collarbone. I know this, that between our athletic trainers and Keelan's they'll do everything they can to get him back.
Coach, can you just describe the impact Bryce Yates had on this game? He got 3 sacks, really stood out in the defense. Just describe what it's been like to have on your defense this season.
Yeah, thanks for recognizing him, because he deserves to be recognized. He, you know, he never says anything. Like I don't know that I've ever had like a conversation with him that lasted more than like 15 or 20 seconds. You know, he's always quiet, but he's very focused. He works so hard, you know, every single day at his craft. And if you ask Kenny McClendon, our defensive line coach, long ago, he said, you know, we got something special in this Bryce Yates kid. You know, there's something about him that's different. And he's been very, 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 very consistent for us all year. And then today, when it's time for him to have a breakout game, he did that. And you know what? He's the kind of guy, I wouldn't be, I'm saying this, I'm not being facetious, I wouldn't be surprised if he's back tonight in Shankman working on something that he didn't get right today. That's the kind of guy he is.
You were pretty successful with getting pressure on Jerkovich and then Moorhead a little later. What were you doing in the front seven to make them feel comfortable?
Well, our guys just rushed well. You know, they've had a lot of injuries up front, and we want to try to take advantage of that early by, you know, pinning our ears back and going after them. I didn't feel like in the first half we were finishing our pass rush very well. I thought they were slipping out and making some plays. And we talked about that at halftime, about squeezing the pocket more, about, you know, closing up some of the escape lanes and playing off of each other better. But the guys really, they accepted the challenge. And they've got a great football player over there in Zay Taylor. And we knew that we weren't going to be able to add a lot of extra rushers and still take care of Zay. And so the hat was kind of on the front four to get pressure, and they did that. And that's always a good thing.
What was the game plan to kind of take Zay out of the game for Boston College?
Well, you know, you're never going to take a kid like that out of the game. I don't know what his stats were. I mean, I just know one time we had him doubled, and he caught it for like 30 yards. That's the kind of kid he is, you know. But the key is not letting him get big plays against you. So, you know, we were rolling over the top of him some. We were doubling him a little bit. I think, though, our defensive backs and our linebackers had great understanding of where he was and what they liked to do with him when he was in those spots. And that allowed us to get in some throwing lanes and make some plays.
Speaking of the defensive backs, Durand Jones had a huge game for you. Can you tell us about his leadership and what he brought you on the field?
He's a rare player, rare performer, rare person. Really, I've coached a lot of really great players, and they all had this certain quality in terms of the way they prepared. You know, the way they went about their business during the week to get them ready for game day, and that's what he has. Like, nobody studies more than he. Nobody asks more questions more than Durante. I mean, he asks so many questions during the week. He knows calls before they come in. He's calling me, texting me, what are we thinking in this situation? What are we thinking in that situations? The great defensive backs that I've coached, the guys that are in the Hall of Fame, those were the intangibles that they had. Now, I'm not saying he's a Hall of Famer, right? I mean, I hope someday he is. But those intangibles that he demonstrates every day, That's what leads to games like this, studying your opponent, knowing your role, knowing tendencies, communicating, and he just does a great job of all those things.
Sometimes game managers get a bad name, and I thought Zion did a great job picking like 6 balls up off the carpet to keep plays going, making a couple big runs when he needed to. Can you just talk about him not losing the game for you?
Well, that's important, especially when you're dealing with a quarterback that's still maturing at this level. Not sometimes just not making a play that's going to lose you is as important as making lose for you is as important as making a play that's going to help you win. And as we've gone through the season, he's become more and more adept at understanding that forcing something in there or trying to make something out of nothing isn't going to work at this level. And so I'm okay with him being a game manager. Let's manage the next 3 games very, very well. And then we'll work like crazy in the offseason and help him make the next step.
You talked about Justin, scored the only touchdown. You hadn't talked to us earlier this week, just what that means to you.
Well, it was a great play. First of all, the way he caught the ball, the way he had to maneuver his body and go out and he didn't catch it. He had to go attack the football. And then he showed his athleticism and his speed and his elusiveness in going and scoring a touchdown there. And he's a fun player to work with. He's a tough matchup. He's a 6'3", 225 guy that, you put a linebacker on, and athletically he's probably a little bit better at times. You put a defensive back, he's a little bit bigger, but he can run. So he's a nice weapon to have, and he's certainly the last, several games really started to show up for us.
Coach, as you continue to kind of build this really from the ground up, these type of games, against the BC, against the UMass, in terms of recruiting, these are huge. Is that something you ever kind of take into consideration at times, or is it just you can't really think about that?
No, I mean, we're always thinking about recruiting. The recruiting is the lifeblood of your program, and when you can get young men to a game like this and they feel this atmosphere and they see you do something that hasn't been done before, I mean, it's certainly impactful. I think the most important thing that we can always do in recruiting is win football games, and win them the way we want them today, which is tough and hard-nosed and physical. And you do those 2 things, that you're going to have success in recruiting.
Yeah, I think you've probably heard a lot about the history of Boston College and UConn and some of the things.
I haven't. I mean, the only thing I know is the kind of the ACC thing, but
Well, with that and the fact that they're in the neighborhood, obviously.
they what?
They're in the neighborhood. Can you
Wait, there's a what?
They're in the neighborhood.
Oh, they're in the neighborhood. Yeah, they're in our neighborhood right now. Yeah.
context what it means to be this team in the way you did this?
Well, I mean, I guess, being new here, I probably don't understand it as well as some people that have been here and part of this for so long. I certainly understand it better now after seeing the reaction of our fans and of everyone in the program, and I respect the heck out of that. I know that, University of Connecticut has never beaten Boston College in football except for today, So it's a great feeling, and it's a heck of an accomplishment, and we hope it builds hope. We hope it brings people back into the stadium. We hope it shows that we're on the right trajectory. I mean, that's an ACC team. That's a Power 5 football team. That's a team that I think was 38-3 or 35-3 against other teams in the Northeast. We were underdogs, and we found a way to win, and we just got to build on that.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks everyone.